Hey everyone, this is Blackhawk SEO. Welcome back to another free mech review. PGI recently gave away another free mech, the Nova, which is known as the Blackhawk in the Inner Sphere. And that's named after me, of course. In this video, I'll take a look at the S variant and what modern builds we can run on it. PGI used to give away free mechs only for big long events, but now it seems like you can get one simply by logging in at a specific time, which is great news for those who want to try out new chassis. For those who are newer to the game, at its heyday, the Nova was actually one of the top mediums in the game, excelling especially at small pulse laser brawl and laser vomit. Due to new additions to the game such as the Hunchback 2CA and the nerfing of the Clan SPL, the Nova lost its top spot in nearly all categories. It's still not a bad mech though, especially the Prime variant, which comes with a minus 10% heat gen quirk on the ERML due to its set of 8 quirks. In my opinion, if you want the best performance out of the Nova, sell the NVA-S champion and buy the Prime variant instead. But suppose you want to keep the S variant for some reason. What are your options in that case? The stock champion build is actually not a bad option for new players. Remember that this build was chosen by the community for its new player friendliness, and the triple AMS certainly helps. Experienced players though will find plenty of issues with this build, due to its slightly underpowered alpha and having the weapon spread across both sides of this wide chassis. The NVA-S stock build is very similar to the champion build and has a better alpha, but faces the same issue of having its weapon spread across the mech. The build has a set of 8 quirks that improves the MGs and pulse lasers, but I don't think they're worth the trouble of having to expose all of your mech when you peak. You can replicate the laser vomit build that works quite well on the Prime, but you lose the 5% ERML heat gen quirk that comes with the Prime's full set omnipods. If you're fine with running what is essentially an inferior version of the Prime, then it's definitely an option. This heavy small laser boat is a build that sort of does what the CSPL boat once did. But despite the higher alpha, it usually doesn't kill as quickly because the high duration tends to spread damage more. If you're interested in how short-range small laser boats can be played, I featured such a build in my Stormcrow build guide sometime back, and I'll link it in the description below. My preferred build on the S variant is this MPL boat, which takes advantage of some of the quirks that comes with the S and Prime omnipods. In total, we get a 7.5% MPL heat reduction from the quirks alone, plus additional reductions from the heat gen skills, which makes the build pretty cool. One thing that makes this build pretty interesting is its ability to laser Pop-Tart, which I demoed at the beginning of the video. It's something that the ERML build can't do as well due to the longer laser duration. I'd use this ability only when necessary though, and normally you'd just be doing the right side peaks. As all of your weapons are on the right arm, you have to protect that side at all costs. And because of the Nova's big nose, it's easy to have the left side absorb incoming fire as soon as you make a small twist. I think this is a good time to point out that the proposed clan laser nerf in the May patch, which was rolled back, would have hurt mechs like the Nova big time. As you can see, the Nova is heavily dependent on medium class lasers, and limiting it to 4 ERMLs or 4 MPLs per alpha would have resulted in much longer exposure times, making the Nova much more risky to play. I could make an entire video about how the nerf was a terrible idea, but let's not get into it at this point. In the skill tree, I'm doing something a little different from the normal laser boats. I don't max out heat gen because the build is already relatively cool, and instead I put more points towards mobility and durability. Okay, let's get into a gameplay demo. In this match we're on Crimson. Crimson isn't a really good map for CMPL usually because it's more true mid-rangey, like beyond the 400 meter range. A lot of times, especially when you're poking into the tunnel or you're trading in the tunnel. But if the match gets close, then gets into close range, then the CMPL can be quite useful. And now I'm just kind of looking into the tunnel. Like I don't really want to trade with anything in the tunnel. The Nova is definitely not a trade mech. I just want to see if I can get a first shot at maybe something that's possibly, coming through. And usually, what I'm trying to do is letting these bigger mechs handle the trades through the tunnel, if anything comes through. So the Orion here is taking a peek. And I'm just kind of seeing if I can support him if he finds a target, then I can shoot that target as well without taking that first shot from the enemy. We're seeing some fire over there. Yeah, the Osiris is getting back. So I'm not quite sure where the enemy is right now. There's obviously some in the tunnel. I see like an arm there. That Nova's taking some first shots. Lots of fire now, so that Orion's gonna take some shots, and Marauders on our team is also engaging. So I'm not in a good position to trade. So I'm thinking, a lot of them might be around that side entrance near the tunnel. So I'm gonna go up, and I'm gonna try to go up and see if I can take some shots from up top instead of, you know,
Guys, don't poke the tunnel, Orion.
clogging up that small tunnel entrance.
They're moving out of the tunnel.
Take some time to get up there. We do see there's some stuff at D4, D5. It's just an urban mech at D4 though, so not that much. Okay, so there's the PPC Marauders covering that side, so I don't want to stay up here. There's no real way that I can support from up top, so I'm gonna drop back down again. And now see the enemy is coming over the side. So we can take some pressure off of our teammates who are under the bridge, under the platform here. So we noticed that our team is going into the tunnel, like some bigs are going into the tunnel. I'm gonna just follow them. There's not much for us to do out here. We don't have the range to trade.
Airstrike.
Guys, left, side back.
I'm gonna get that more from behind the beta mode.
Just adding some fire over to what the Death Strike is shooting at.
Guys, side tunnel, number 5.
Spider is almost leg.
So if you notice that shot, I killed the leg and the damage transferred up to the torso and then destroyed the torso, so that was kind of an interesting kill there.
Madcat, you can't go that way. Follow me.
Clearly.
So Orion is in trouble, and he's dead now. Just trying to give him some support fire. You notice that Orion was almost gone. He's been fighting our Orion for quite a while, so just want to take him out. There was I think that same Marauder that was shooting me when I was up on the top of the platform, so that guy's been annoying me for the entire match. Bad shutdown. It's not a good place to shut down, but at least my arm was not facing the enemy at that time. So you can see my arm was open right now, so I'm gonna try to have to preserve it. So the Cicada usually runs XL, so I'm gonna try to take out his XL engine. And that Victor is open CT, so wait for him to turn around, and he's also gone.
Behind us, Charlie 5, they came outside.
It's that freaking Marauder again. But lucky kill on that, what I think is a rifleman. Must have been an XL explosion.
That's fucking early, mate.
A strike barely missed me. One more shot to that Marauder CT. Yeah, he's gone. Finally got rid of him.
Well, GG.
Well, it was a pretty close match up to the end. And that's 7 kills with 4 solos. I wasn't just stealing kills there. So it's a good match. Alright guys, I hope you found this guide to be helpful. And of course, if you'd like to share your thoughts on the chassis, please do so in the comments below. I've only talked about the builds I liked, and the Nova is a pretty versatile chassis, so I'm interested in knowing what you've come up with. Okay, I'll see you next time.